Hello, this is Mr. Chabrian. I have another narrated Pokemon battle. So this is a battle against Vulpix 88, and I'm trying out some Pokemon that I haven't used in a while. Some Pokemon that I would really like to try out. Again, Mega Diance being the big one, and of course Hoopa Unbound, which I've never really used that often. So I'm actually going to lead off with my Araquanid because it would be really nice to get the sticky webs up. Of course, my opponent does have the Garchomp and the Weavile, and it would be really nice to slow those down. Of course, this thing's actually going to go for a Volt Switch right off the bat, and in will come the Weavile. So this thing is kind of scary. Of course, I'm just going to get the sticky webs up, and that's going to be very nice because my opponent does have some pretty speedy Pokemon that could be pretty big threats. So now my Araquanid's going to go down, and unfortunately, since Weavile's already out here on the field, it's going to be very fast. I'm going to bring out my Diance now, and this is actually my Mega. This is Mega Diance. It's a really cool Pokemon. Once it Mega Evolves, it has the Magic Bounce ability, and the cool thing about Diance is on your first turn, it's really cool to get a Rock Polish because Diance has beautiful defense and special defense, but after you Mega Evolve, it gets more speed and it loses some defense and special defense. So that's why I think Rock Polish is the best thing to do right off the bat. Get a nice Rock Polish, and now this thing's going to try to go for an Ice Shard to get some chip damage on Diance. We'll just hit this thing with a Moonblast, but of course if this thing has a Sash, it's going to hurt us quite a bit, and it ends up having the Sash. So that's actually something I was kind of afraid of. It's going to get some more chip damage, and I'm actually going to swap out because I do not want to lose my Diance, and I'm pretty sure another Ice Shard will finish off my Diance, seeing how much damage that did earlier. So I'm going to bring in my Toxapex. This thing is a physical, bulky Pokemon, and that way I can keep Diance alive a little bit longer. Of course, we're going to lose our Black Sludge, but I need something to take out this Weavile, because I think that's one of the most important things right now, is getting rid of this fast, hard-hitting Weavile. So now the Garchomp will come in, and of course it's going to be slowed down by the Sticky Web. But even with that, Garchomp will outspeed Toxapex. So I'm actually going to go into Tangrowth expecting an Earthquake, as this thing's just going to go for a Stealth Rock. So that's going to make it a little bit tougher for me. It's going to hamper my switching ability, and now this thing's going to set up a Swords Dance. So I'm kind of scared of this Garchomp now. Of course, it did lose some speed, but it is that +2 attack. I go for Hidden Power Ice, and it doesn't do quite enough for me to feel good about it. So I'm actually going to swap into my Diance, expecting possibly an Outrage Dragon Claw. I'm not totally sure, as it does go for an Outrage, and I could easily just hit this thing with a Moonblast and get rid of it. But now, the Amoonguss is going to come in, and Amoonguss is an interesting Pokemon. It usually goes for Spore, but I'm not too worried about it going for Spore on my Mega Diance, so I'm just going to Moonblast. That would have taken care of the Garchomp, and it actually lowers this thing's special attack, so that makes me feel a little bit better. But this is actually not the best matchup for me. I'm going to go Psyshock. That's my Psychic move on this, but unfortunately for me, this thing is going to survive that, and this Sludge Bomb will take out my Diance, and that's actually going to hurt me quite a bit because Diance would have been very nice to keep. Now I'm going to go into Hoopa. This is a Pokemon I've not really tried out that much, so I still don't totally know what Hoopa does. I do know that it's got an interesting stat distribution. It's got really good attack, really good special attack, and it's mainly there just to hit really hard. So I'm just going to go for a Psychic, finish that off, and now the Staraptor comes in. And Staraptor is honestly a very scary Pokemon. It's got the Reckless ability, and a lot of times it comes with the Choice Scarf. I'm going to go into my Toxapex. I'm hoping that Toxapex could take at least some hits from this thing, and this thing's just going to go for a Brave Bird, and it's going to take out Toxapex with one hit. So that's very unfortunate. Toxapex would have been so nice. And I'm going to go into my Blacephalon. This thing is Scarfed, So I'm hoping that we can take out this bird, as my opponent's actually just going to swap it out and send in the Slowbro. So, of course, I am scarfed. So, Flamethrower is not going to do hardly anything to Slowbro. And I can't stay in with this thing here. This thing could easily take out my Blacephalon just with a water move. And I'm going to go into my Tangrowth now, because Tangrowth has the best matchup. This thing ends up being Mega Slowbro. So Mega Slowbro is very hard to take out, has really great defense, pretty good special defense as well. This thing is very hard to take out, and it's actually going to hit my Tangrowth with a Fire Blast. So that's kind of unfortunate here. This thing is going to be swapped out, and now HP Ice Fan, which is the Magnezone, will come in, and it can easily take the Giga Drain right here. So I'm actually just going to go for knockoff, though, hoping that I would do more damage. See, I don't know what would have done more damage on the Slowbro. I think maybe Giga Drain would have. But now we're going to take him Power Ice, as I'm just going to fire off an Earthquake, and I'm hoping to finish off this Magnezone. As yes, we do finish off the Magnezone, so that's really nice for us, because this Magnezone could easily give us some problems later on in the game. And now the Staraptor's going to come back in. This thing is, of course, very scary for my Tangrowth. I'm going to swap my Tangrowth out. I think keeping Tangrowth alive is very nice. And I'm actually going to sack off Hoopa, because I don't entirely know what Hoopa can do, as this thing actually goes for a U-turn, which I was actually hoping would go for a Brave Bird. So, that means now Vulpix88 has the advantage here, and Garchomp can come back out. Of course, we still have the Sticky Web, so that's actually helping us out quite a bit. And I'm going to go into my Blacephalon. This thing is scarfed, but it's still pretty tough right here, because my opponent still has the Staraptor, so that's why I'm going to go Foul Play. I'm hoping Foul Play does what it needs to do, but unfortunately, we don't quite take out the Garchomp, so that means Blacephalon will go down to this Earthquake, and that's kind of unfortunate. It would have been nice if Foul Play took this thing out. I would still have my Blacephalon, and it would probably come in handy for the Staraptor. It would even come in handy for the Slowbro, but unfortunately, all we have now is Tangrowth, and Tangrowth is not going to live an Outrage. So that means we end up losing this battle, but it was a really good battle, and thank you, Vulpix88, for that battle. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you in the next Pokemon video.